to the new thing isn't global warming or isn't Ukraine or isn't COVID. Now it's the Muslims. And I don't like a lot of the stuff Israel's doing. I think they stood down. I think it was a false flag. I mean, I think real Islamicists attacked, but it was clearly money Biden sent. But what's the larger picture here with Harvard and the big universities endorsing this? We got a lot to talk about in the 45 minutes or so we've got him, and I'm going to cover some more news after he leaves us in this hour before the next guest joins us. But clearly we said another big war is coming. That's going to be the distraction from the COVID deaths, all the rest of it. And now they're trying to trigger a holy war. Obviously, you get boosted big on Twitter and everywhere else, Hotep, where you're already reaching millions a day if you got on the bandwagon. But clearly the establishment is trying to create some type of clash of civilizations here. Hotep Jesus, thank you for joining us, hotepjesus.com. And people can also find you at Hotep Jesus on Twitter and menofhonor.com. So, Hotep, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Oh, absolute pleasure, Alex. So, yeah, so your take on Israel is pretty much similar to my take. Obviously, the timing is convenient. We have election season now here, a.k.a. grifting season. Nikki Haley has proven to be a supreme grifter herself after her comments on Fox last night. But what's the bigger story here? Well, first of all, the next distraction is to create something domestically, right? Create some sort of event domestically. Now, it's been happening in spurts here and there. You have protesters clashing. You have Grand Central Station being attacked by pro-Palestine protesters. You have Jewish people being attacked. A lot of different skirmishes have taken place on domestic soil. Much of this planned, much of this known by the elite rulers. And that was one of my fears early on, where there's conflict in the Middle East, and because of all the vitriol on social media spilled into our streets. Now, much of this stuff, as we know, Hamas and Palestine has been supported by George Soros. Black Lives Matter supported by George Soros. We've tracked down some of these protests between the pro-Palestine socialists, but I think Stop the War Coalition is one of them. And Jeremy Corbyn is partly behind some of these protests. So what we have is a communist socialist takeover of another people's struggle. But what's the bigger story that's happening here? Well, while everybody's distracted by the Middle East, what we are experiencing is a complete and total financial transformation where money is going to change how it operates, both at a wholesale level and a retail level. Right now, the House Financial Services Committee is discussing Basel III Endgame. And basically what they're talking about now is, what are the capital requirements for a banking institution? Now, we know what the capital requirements have been since COVID. They said that they are basically zero. You need zero reserves. But now Basel III is challenging some of that and saying that banks need to hold more money, more cash, more capital, which is going to hurt, obviously, the small guys. So what we're looking at right now is actually a huge transformation of the banking industry. If you look, you'll see many banks right now shutting down. You have Wells Fargo.
By the way, let me just interrupt you and say bingo, 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 ding, 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 ding. We're coming to the end of the big bubble, the new rollout of the central bank currencies. They admit it, and they need crises as the diversion to bring this in.
That's correct.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand?
You guys finished your work 6 hours early? He's not tapped in.
I had to break out the glasses because we getting intellectual today. The Grift Report starts now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
What's up, people? Welcome to the Grift Report, live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. I'm your host, the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hotep to the chat. Hotep to my Hoteps. Hotep to all the Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
What's up, y'all? Zantoven, Steph Colonel, Heather. What up, Heather? First and last, Kevin Lewis, Jack Reeves, Protocol, Stephanie Squad. What up, man? How y'all feeling, y'all? Who's over on Rumble? Kay, what up? I see Kay. It's just me in the chat. EMP, I see you. Black Market, Nick, what up, man? Hold on, let me organize this article here. Let me just organize this article here today. Today we're going to be talking about white identitarianism and Kwanzaa and some other fun things in the grift bag today, okay? And that's what we're going to be taking a look at. I would like to begin first with a bit of background work, just so you know, just for no reason. I like to give you guys updates on my personal life. About 5 minutes before this show started, I was hanging out with Shaka Akmos, and we were talking and jamming. And Shaka Akmos is actually looking for a producer for his movie, his short film. And he's also looking for a social media manager, and he's paying. So if you guys are looking for that, check out shakaakmos.com. Reach out to him. Tell him you're interested. Okay? All right. Let's, we had a very enjoyable conversation. Hilarious, candid conversation. Not at liberty. I don't like to share private conversations publicly, but we had a really good conversation. And I'll be speaking with him again shortly, trying to onboard him to Twitter. And he needs somebody to help him out on Instagram and TikTok too. Us old guys, you know, we don't know how to do this new stuff, these new technologies like you kids got going. All right, let's take a look. So I want to start today's stream. First of all, Kuji Chagalia, happy Kwanzaa, day 2 of Kwanzaa. Self-determination is the message. Let's take a look here. I want to take a look at this article here. And this article, I actually didn't expect to find. I just, you know, was looking up news articles on Kwanzaa, and this one popped up, and I said, wow, okay, let me take a look at this one. This one is titled, Kamala Harris's Kwanzaa message sparks outrage. Okay. And we're going to take a look at this here. So it says, Vice President Kamala Harris' Kwanzaa message sparked backlash on Tuesday as some social media users ripped the vice president after comparing the holiday post to her Christmas greeting a day earlier. Okay, so we begin here with juxtaposition, right? The comparison, this or that, right? And then it goes into President Bill Clinton was the first U.S. president to officially recognize Kwanzaa, other history here, Swahili, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it says on X, what does it say here? What? Oh, wow. Okay. Harris posted a message on Tuesday celebrating the holiday. Growing up, Kwanzaa was always a special time where we come together, celebrate culture, community, and family. Now, let me just first of all say, I don't think she ever fucking celebrated Kwanzaa. Maybe she did, and I'm just a damn liar. But I seriously doubt she did that. But anyway, let's continue. I'm pretty sure she was celebrating some Indian holiday. Sending my warmest wishes, or maybe because she celebrated Christmas. I don't know. But I doubt she celebrated Kwanzaa. She seems like a fake black to me. But maybe she did. I don't know. Sending my warmest wishes to all who are celebrating in the United States and around the world. May your days be filled with love and light, Harris added. Since posting the message, some have taken the X to express disapproval as they compared the vice president's Kwanzaa post with the previous message to Americans on Christmas. let's take a look at her Christmas message. So let's take a look here. Shout out to Steph is Dope. I was referring Shaka to him for some website building. If you guys need a website built, Steph is Dope is definitely somebody to reach out to. So let's type in Kamala Harris. Here we go. Let's see what her Christmas message is. Okay, we have two. Well, it's got a couple of holiday messages here. This is interesting. All right, let's start here. There's a couple of holidays. As the holiday season approaches, let's take a moment to offer our gratitude to our frontline workers, first responders, and service members who are away from their families. Thank you for everything you do to keep us safe. Okay, so we have a message to the first responders. Very political, very diplomatic. It's a smart thing to do. All right, it's going to make your image look good. Here's another video, her and her husband. May your holiday season be filled with good food and celebrations with loved ones. So another holiday message here. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays. This is from the VP account. Doug and I were thrilled to speak with Jeremiah from the J Hud Show about our family traditions. So they're talking about Christmas spirit here with a little black boy. And then she says here, there's no greater gift than spending the holidays with loved ones. From our family to yours, we wish you a safe and happy holiday season. And I'm just trying to figure out where the menorah at. Where the menorah at? Huh? Ain't her husband Jewish? We got to stay on code, man. Where your menorah at? You're supposed to be lighting your candles. You know what I'm saying? I know it's over by this time, but still. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that. I want to see that on the mantle right here. Let's continue. Wishing everyone a happy holiday season. So we have another Christmas message here. Another Merry Christmas. Christmas is a time to come together with our loved ones and celebrate our favorite traditions. From our family to yours, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Okay. Merry Christmas. Another one from the VP account, retweeted. Happy Kwanzaa to all those celebrating. Doug and I hope your week is filled with community and light. Okay. So then she says here, growing up Kwanzaa was a special time, blah, 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 blah. Send the warmest wishes. So let's go ahead and click on that tweet because I don't trust Newsweek. And then she keeps it moving and starts talking about women's rights. Okay, so they're saying the blatant lie. She never celebrated Kwanzaa once in her life. I agree with that. And this is what makes me not believe her. Because when she says she was celebrating while smoking weed and listening to Tupac in college, it's like, man, Tupac wasn't even out when he was in college. But anyway, maybe. He was probably in that group. All right, anyway, so let's go back to the article because I wanted to see. It says, basically, people were comparing her message to the other one. I just wanted to see for myself. Vice President on Monday posted a picture of herself and a second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, in front of a Christmas tree. The caption said, wishing everyone a happy holiday season. The former California senator was met with a number of comments criticizing her choice of words, as some pointed out that she did not mention the word Christmas. Oh, is that what everybody's mad about? Oh, this one says Merry Christmas. This one says Christmas. This one says holiday season. Holidays. This one says Christmas. All right, so let's go back. So already we're in bullshit territory, okay? We're in either Newsweek lying or people online are just full of cap. However, Harris has previously used the word Christmas over the course of December. We are grateful for the chance, Last year, Harris said that Christmas is a holiday, hope and joy. Okay, Secretary Blinken drew similar scowls for his Kwanzaa message. Okay. Ex-user Johnny Maga criticized Blinken message saying they're at war with us. Okay, looks like he's now deleted that. Cowards! Others took aim at the holiday itself. Ex-user Stephen Story wrote, but yeah, like I said, Kwanzaa is a psyop, not a real holiday. Juneteenth is 10 times more meaningful and more fun. I'm ready to start the petition to end Kwanzaa once and for all. I can't wait for Strong Dad to. I'm gonna leave this one. I'm gonna leave this comment for Strong Dad. This just sounds really weird to me. People want to start a petition to end a holiday, and it's just like, either you trolling or you just ain't got nothing else better to do with your time. But either way, you just ain't got nothing else better to do with your time. And I just need you to find some more intellectual matters to involve yourself in, other than, this bullshit. It's not a real holiday. Well, first thing we got to understand is none of these holidays are real. None of them are. None of them are. All right. And we've fallen. Yes, I took my master focus today. We've fallen so far into grift land. It's like, well, first of all, let's come back because everybody's asking it. What is a holiday? What makes a real holiday? That's a good question. I don't know. Holiday, if I took a guess, means holy day, which means it has some sort of spiritual significance. And unfortunately, what people don't understand is that many of your religious texts have celestial connections. So when I was speaking to Shaka about the holidays, what he told me was he's celebrating this. Let's bring it up. Google keeps asking me for my location. I don't know why that is. Winter solstice. Okay. What happens during winter solstice? The December solstice marks the longest night and the shortest daylight of the year for those living in the northern hemisphere. And for the southern hemisphere, it marks the shortest night and the longest daylight. So according to my studies, it just means this is when the sun, or our rotation in conjunction to the sun, starts heading back the other way, right? So we're starting to head back to the warmer climates, right? So you got to always think of like when you were, let's say you were first man, right? And you noticed, the first thing you noticed as being the first people on this planet was like, yo, it's really damn cold, or we're experiencing peculiar things with the weather, right? Because if you're in a hot climate, you experience maybe monsoon weather and different weather patterns. In the north here, we experience colder temperatures. So imagine you're in the north, you're experiencing colder temperatures. You can't wait for the sun to come back. So you start to notice this pattern. Your pattern recognition kicks in and you notice, wait, around this time every year is when it starts to get warmer again and the sun is renewed. Okay. And so then we have that return. Now this return can also be conflated with reincarnation. Okay. The return of the sun, right? So you have the return of the sun, S-O-N, then you have return of the sun, S-U-N. And what happens is over the years, return of the S-U-N turns into return of the S-O-N. This is all sun worship. You have some people who have Saturn worship. Some people have lunar worship. And what you're dealing with here is sun worship. Okay. So S-U-N turns into S-O-N. And I don't have any problem with people who do that. But you can't forget the S-U-N. You cannot forget Saul. Okay. Let's put that in here, because that is the root word of solstice. So let's type in S-O-L. S-O-L. Sol. It says here the fifth note of a major scale. Wikipedia, right here, astronomy, the sun. Sol or soul, also soul, soul music, or the soul of your body, also in reference to the sun. The sun. solstice. So what we're talking about here is during a very specific time of the year, people are practicing a worship of the sun. In ancient Kemet, that would be Asar or Aten. It would be, some of these figures, if I'm naming them correctly here. Okay. Getting into etymology, a little bit. I just like to do the root words of things, right? The root words of solstice is sol. Okay. So you're going to have celebrations around this time period. Okay. That's what you're going to have. Now, let me come back. Wait, what did I'm sorry, it was here. So what you'll have is you'll have people say things like this Stephen Story character here, right? Who says not a real holiday. Not a real holiday. Now, we already mentioned that holiday, aka holy day, aka a period, because it's not a day really. It's usually that's why Judaism's kind of interesting, because it's a stretch of days. That's why Kwanzaa is interesting, because it's a stretch of days. They've really shorted you guys by making Christmas one day, because really it's supposed to be a series of days, because the transition of the sun and the winter solstice is usually a transition of days, right? So let's go to, let's bring that back up. So the winter solstice, they identify as December 21st, right? Or 22nd, right? So it sort of moves. But usually these things transition over a period of time. Okay? Several days. Okay? So let's type in winter solstice time period, right? Because this is what we really want. Okay, so theirs is June 20th or 1st. Okay, so this is pointing to the exact time period, which is the 21st. And I'm trying to figure out how to, all right, let me not waste time to try and find this transition period, because usually it happens over the course of several days, but Google sucks ass. Anyway, let's just come back and stay on focus, right? So what you say here is not a real holiday. What you have to then do is dissect this sentence and say, well, what does real mean? What makes something real? Okay. So let's go to the dictionary. Let's type in real. I'm going to type in real. 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 Actually existing as a thing or occurring in fact, not imagined or supposed. Okay. So actually existing is what makes something real. Now, if Kwanzaa, hold on. We're gonna have to go to Strong Dad's page. All right. Go to Strong Dad. Where is he? Here we go. And right here. So you better hold this very moment. Here we have Strong Dad celebration. Is this real? Is this real? It's actually existing. This is a real celebration. It's actually existing. So therefore, it's real. Like, you can go and buy things and it's real, right? Okay, let's go back. So now we understand what a holiday is. A period of, well, let's type in holiday. Let's get the Google certified definition of holiday. Okay. Holiday, a day of or festivity or recreation when no work is done. That's how they describe it. I want to go, since we're talking about etymology, let's do the etymology dictionary and let's type in holiday and see what we get. Holiday. Okay, right here. Holy day, consecrated day, religious anniversary, Sabbath, day of exemption from labor and recreation. Okay. Occasion in which entertainment or profit, this is Roman holiday, occasion on which entertainment or profit is derived from injury or death of another. Okay. Originally in reference to holidays for gladiatorial combat, the expression seems to be entirely traceable to an oft-quoted passage on a dying barbarian gladiator from the 4th canto. Okay. Let's go here. Right. I believe we've exhausted what we need here from the etymology dictionary. Okay. It's a religious day. Exemption from labor and recreation. But what I liked here was the beginning here, because this is the premise of my statement. On occasion which entertainment or profit is derived from. The key part here is profit. 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 Cash rules everything around me. When you think of Halloween, what do you think of? The purchase of candy. When you think of spending money on a holiday, what do you think of? You think of Christmas. Everybody knows when Christmas come around, you're going to be broke. You're going to come out of pocket. Okay? Because this is an occasion where profit is derived from. So if your holiday does not derive profit, you're doing something wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad holiday. I'm just saying you're doing something wrong. So let's come back. So what we have here is he mentions Juneteenth. 10 times more meaningful and more fun. Okay? Now, I don't know what meaningful and fun is to him, because these things are all subjective. So we don't even have to get into the subjectivity of the matter. He believes what he wants to believe. I believe another thing. But what he's doing is he's actually attacking one holiday in favor of another. And I wouldn't want to do that. In my serious moment, if I'm being serious, I would never do that. I might joke around on Thursdays, right, with I'll say all types of crazy shit on the show for the sake of entertainment. But when we're being serious, I would never desecrate any holiday that any people celebrated, even if I never heard of it before. If I heard, a certain group of people celebrated a holiday, Yom Kippur or something, I don't know shit about it. Hey, yo, Yom Kippur to you. So, again, coming back to not real. Well, we've proven that Kwanzaa is real. But not only is it real, what it is it's actually profitable. It's profitable. And in order to understand that, we have to come back. We also have to question who profits off of your holiday. Okay, it's one thing to profit, but it's very much important to recognize who profits. Who profits during Christmas? And I'm not saying that so we can create speculation and denigrate one group of people over another for profiting, but it is understood that you should look to profit during a holiday. Now we see here we have candles and things that had to have been purchased. And many of these things here purchased may have been from Black owned. Some of this shit may have came from China. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like that flag right here, it may have came from China because America doesn't possess great production capabilities. But some of this stuff, I'm sure, this looks like a table being ready to sell. This looks like a table selling things. These things are for sale. Looks like, and we're going to talk to Strong Dad in a little bit about this when we take callers. Okay. So when you attack somebody's holiday, what are you attacking? I need to, now the chat, I need you to tell me, when you attack somebody's holiday, what are you now attacking? Chat, I need you to tell me. What are you attacking? What two things must be seen as synonymous? If you attack somebody's holiday, what are you attacking? While I wait for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull up some more evidence.
I wish all the black people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the white people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the Hispanics were as smart as Hotep Jesus. Because that guy, he really gets it. He knows how to boil it down.
Okay, let's pull this up. I got three tweets we're going to have to pull up and take a look at. All right. All right, let's take a look here. Zanthoven. Correct. Zanthoven was paying attention. He was paying attention. You attack their economics. You attack their profit.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
That's what you attack. This is an economic attack on black people. Specifically. And why? Why? Mostly because of a disdain for the left. Because conservatives are like people walking through a misty fog. They can't see but a few inches in front of their face. They lack foresight. Okay? The red whites lack foresight. Con Inc., the X Division, the grifters lack foresight. And they lack compassion and they lack care. These people are demons. I'm going to borrow that from Bryson. These people are demonic. They are not people of God. They are people of Satan. Because when you attack somebody's religion, when you attack somebody's holy day, you must be a demon. And by default, you are an enemy because you are attacking their profit and their economics. So if you were to deteriorate, as Stephen Story would like to do here, he said he'd like to end Kwanzaa. You can hate Kwanzaa all you want, but just know that you will destabilize. He can't do that. But if he were successful, what you would do is you would destabilize black people's ability to generate profit during the winter solstice. So then now you'd have to specifically share a holiday with other Americans, aka Christmas, and you'd have to profit off of a different bullshit made up holiday. Okay? Because we all know Christmas is a bullshit made up and is not a real holiday, if that's how we're speaking. Now, it's real in the fact that we all celebrate it, but it's a bullshit holiday. The Christmas tree is of a pagan. It says so in the Bible. I showed you in Jeremiah a few weeks ago. And then we get this. An economic attack on black people because they don't like the left. So what happens is you have black people are like the stepchildren in America, where our adopted mother and father, our adopted mother, the liberal, our adopted father, the conservative, and we are the stepchild left in the middle. And the mother profits off of our adoption, and the father treats us like we are a problem because he hates our mother. Okay? And it's been like this since slavery. So what happens is they see Kamala Harris, they know she a fraud, so they attack her. They attack the holiday. They attack Mr. Karanga, who allegedly created the holiday, and they attack him. Okay? Now, they want to talk about Karanga's past, which is inconsequential to profit. We're talking about something that people can profit off of. So if you have two bullshit holidays being celebrated near the winter solstice, you must allow this group of people, aka black people, you say are a problem, you must allow them to congregate and worship how they see fit and celebrate so that they can profit, and then they won't be your problem. But because you hate Kamala Harris so much, because you hate our mothers so much, you scrutinize the child. You take food out the child's mouth. Then you go, why do I have to take care of this bastard child? And you have to take care of us because you don't know how to get along with our mother. Okay? And I know some people won't like that analogy, but this is an analogy I like to default to sometimes. And all analogies fall off at a certain point, but I like that analogy. So then we have white identitarianism enters. Which holiday is most legit? Okay, this is a subjective question, but it's also one derived from Satan. This is demonic. This is demonic behavior when you attack a people's holiday, and I illustrated why. These people would not post Yom Kippur. They wouldn't say this about Christmas. They wouldn't dare say this about Hanukkah, but they like to turn black people into their whipping post. And this is part of the move to the right and white identitarianism, because white men are now feeling as though they're losing control of their country, because while the demons were ruining the black community, they were also ruining the white community. The white community just didn't see it, because they were blinded. Remember I told you they can't see in the fog. They're like walking in misty fog. But they would have been able to see if they would have just listened to their neighbor, the black man and the black woman, and said, yo, you having problems with the government? What kind of problems are you having? Let's take a look into that. Now this monstrosity, the FBI, has turned on white folks, has always turned on white folks. It was never on their side, was never in their best interest, and came after President Donald J. Trump, and now everybody's concerned. That monster created the crack epidemic, but nobody's concerned until it's fentanyl, until it's the opioid crisis. Now everybody's concerned because it's their people. But you turned a blind eye. Now, I don't have a problem with people turning a blind eye. My issue is you cannot turn a blind eye and then attack us. And this is an economic attack on black people, where you try to denigrate and destroy our holiday, the reputation of our holiday. This is an economic attack. This is, if anybody knows anything about war, the most egregious attack in war is not on people, it's on economics, which means that this could be a call to arms, which means if somebody put hands, feet, and metal on your ass, you deserve it because you created an act of war. You attacked our economic systems. And if you lost your life because of this, I would not feel sorry for you. I do not condone it. I'm not saying you should. But if somebody took your life for denigrating their holiday, I would understand. Because what you're doing is you're taking food off of their plate, which is a direct attack on their life. And they think it's a game. They think it's a game. Okay? These people are lucky I have a family and kids. Otherwise, I'd be on some Batman shit. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay? Let's come back. Here we have ALX. Okay? This is called rage bait. Okay? He says to himself, listen, I'm going to invoke the spirit of Satan and not speak words of unity, but instead speak words of division. I want to increase the divide on the American continent. And as we all know, this guy ain't even fucking American. So we allow these people to have say-so over the American continent. And then we make them influencers, retweet them and all of that. And I'm not blocking them because I need to keep an eye. You always keep an eye on your enemies. So I don't block them and I don't mute them. I need to see how my enemy operates so I can study them and move accordingly. Okay? So this is what you call rage bait. They get paid off of this. Elon pays people to create rage bait. I'm going to go to the next tweet. I retweeted this earlier today. Let's take a look here. No. I passed it. Here it is. So Miss Pinky says, this place used to have fun mixed with the crazy. Now it's 90% outrage bait, 5% trying to do work, and 5% some old lady making bras. Okay? So Twitter used to be a nice place. And I said this in the very beginning. I said it's a bad idea to pay people on social media. It's a very bad idea. In fact, I believe people should pay per tweet, just like the Twitch. You wouldn't have bot accounts if people had to pay for every tweet. If you had to put 5 cents up or $1 for every tweet, you wouldn't tweet the shit you tweet. There wouldn't be fake accounts online. Okay? It would drastically drop. But she's right. It's 90% outrage bait. And they don't care because they live in another foreign country. So they create turmoil here from the safety of their catacombs in Malaysia or wherever these people reside, Europe, someplace. And then laugh at us. Laugh at our culture dying. Watching America dying. People right now, the rage bait people get paid to kill America. I'm going to tweet that. I like that. Rage bait people. Rage bait accounts get paid to destroy America. Now, I'm going to say, I could say humanity here, but I'm going to be very specific and say America. And really is two things behind this. Number one, being specific, talking directly to Americans because I'm an American. But two, somebody's going to come in and say, well, actually, it's all of humanity. So you get more engagement by being specific sometimes, or sometimes being too broad, people will be more specific. So we'll watch and see how this goes later on. Rage bait accounts get paid to destroy America. Okay? And that's what they do. They're destroying us. One tweet at a time. And I had to do some self-reflection. Okay? And I said, Hotep Jesus, because I always do this. When I put people up to a certain standard, I got to put myself up to the same standard. So I took a look in the mirror and I said, yo, have you ever spoken words of division? And I had to be honest with myself and I said yes. Now, I didn't do it for profit. I did it for fun. And I did it with a motive to make people think. Okay? But I did not always speak words of unity. And now I want to be very clear with my messaging on social media from now on, because if there's any time that we need a message of unity, it is now. Okay? Holden said, war is always about economics. Piling bodies up is just an added consequence. Correct. He says, HJ continues to show how the right loses. Keep up the good work, HJ. Thank you. This is how the right loses. When they do this. Where is it? When they do this. You're just taking an L. But again, these are foreigners. You guys should not, I would tell them, like, yo, if you're not from America, shut the fuck up. That's what I would start telling these influencers. If you're not from America, shut the fuck up. If you're not going to help America heal, shut the fuck up. I don't talk on the UK shit. I brought Robinson on, let him say his thing and tell y'all what's going on over there. And people in the comments was looking like, when you go look at when I talked to the Robinson cat, right? And his people reached out to me and said, yo, they want to get him on the channel. I said, no doubt. Tommy Robinson came on the channel. I spoke to him. People in the chat said, yo, you look disinterested. And you know what? They're right. I was not interested in the conversation I was having with Tommy Robinson. I sympathize, but I don't empathize. And I could never empathize because I'm not from the UK. I don't know what it's like to experience a Muslim invasion. I don't know what it's like to deal with people taking our women, because that shit wouldn't happen on my watch. You would see me on the news ASAP. You touch one of my girls. Fuck it. I'm going to just have to rot in jail. But I'm taking a whole city with me. You see what I'm saying? But he's right. I didn't give a fuck about what he had to say. Because I'm in America and I don't give a fuck about the UK. But I also wouldn't go on social media and say things to divide people in the UK. I would let them have their business. We have our business. But these accounts do not bring joy and they do not bring unity. And this is part of the 10 Hotep commandments. Let's go to this video here from Strong Dad. I think he's got some comedy for us to lighten up the mood. Let's take a look.
Kwanzaa's a psyop. You mean to tell me that the government was sitting in a room and they were like, we need a way to ruin black people. What's going to be a good psyop? And some guy was like, oh, I got an idea. Kwanzaa, unity, right? Unity will destroy black people. Collective work and responsibility will destroy black people. A cultural sense of identity and practicing economic growth and development, that'll decimate black people. This is awesome. Let's make Kwanzaa a psyop. Are you really that? Are you really that stupid? I'm going to tell you what it really is. The PSYOP isn't practicing Kwanzaa. The PSYOP is tricking black people into not doing something that will bring them together. It's making you believe that if you vote for someone, even though they don't have your best interest at heart, that they will protect you from the other guy that they're calling racist, even though both of them are racist. That's the PSYOP. The PSYOP is voting. The PSYOP is not working together for 7 days at the end of the year to promote family unity. That is not a PSYOP. There's not one thing in the aspect of the celebration where you're destroying the black family unit. Like when you pick up a piece of technology that was created by some random Nazi scientist back in the day, you're not promoting his ideology. You're using the technology. I'm making a fucking phone call. You see what I'm saying? When you use the toaster, you're not giving praise to the right. When you use the toaster, it's because you want toast. You use technology that siphons your wealth, that makes you stupid, that doesn't do anything for you, that emotionally hinders your growth, that were created by horrible people responsible for the death of thousands. But Malana Karanga prevents you from practicing something that gives to you. Prevents you from practicing something that brings you together. You rather celebrate fake Christmas and go broke than celebrate fake Kwanzaa and save money and come together as a family. And to me, that is the PSYOP.
So that's my thing. I'ma respect your bullshit ass fake holiday, and you gonna respect my bullshit ass fake holiday. I'ma recognize that all these holidays are bullshit. But I'm gonna put respect on your holiday, and you're gonna put respect on my holiday. You see, when you allow people to criticize the worst of your culture, you invite them to criticize the best parts of your culture.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
When you allow people outside of your people to criticize the worst parts of your culture, you invite them to criticize the best parts of your culture. You do not as an outsider, get to criticize my culture. That is an act of disrespect. But when you attack my holiday, that is an act of war, and there is no debate. It's hands and feet. I'll say that again. When you attack my holiday, there's no time for debate. It's hands and feet, because that is an act of war. That is an economic aggression. And it's at that point that we must engage in war. Okay? And this is the goal of the PSYOP, to create the race war. Because they know if you standing on business, you're not going to let nobody fuck with your money. And they know these white folks have been pushed to the point of desperation that they will economically attack the black community to create aggression between the two people. Okay? So I'm not stupid for firing the first shot, because I didn't fire the first shot. You fired it when you threatened my economic base, and we have to set a precedent on what we allow in our culture and around our culture. So anybody who denigrates our holiday from outside of our race deserves hands and feet. Hands, feet, and metal. We got to pull the sword out. This was 1825. Actually, now let me go back further. Fucking 50 AB. 50 AD. 50 BC. Got to pull the sword out. We got a duel, yo. We got a duel. I got to take your fucking head off. If this is 50 BC, I got to take your head off. Okay? Yeah, you cannot allow outsiders to dictate. You cannot allow outsiders to disrespect you, because once they get comfortable disrespecting you, the next thing they're going to do is come for your family. You got to guard the walls of your citadel. You got to guard the walls of your citadel. If you don't guard your walls, they breach the walls. And the walls for the black community are the bullshit parts of our culture. When you see white folks take the worst parts of our people and turn them into minstrel shows and turn them into entertainment for other white folks, that is disrespectful. It's not an act of war, but it is disrespectful. When they take videos of, just, ratchet shit and make it go viral, and they do this consistently, it's disrespectful. And there is no room for debate on that. That comes with hands and feet. I'm just saying, some of these people online, if we was in a dark alley with nobody around and no cameras, I'm going to need to have a conversation with them. And my hands going to do all the talking. My hands and feet going to do all the talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking on anybody in my weight class. And maybe even outside of my weight class, depending on how I'm feeling that day. And I just put on 5 pounds too. I'm putting on another 10 pounds in the next month because I'm ready. I'm getting ready for the war. Okay? I am getting ready for war, and everybody that's a Hotep here needs to get ready for war. It's that time. Because there are going to be skirmishes, and you are going to need to set boundaries. And sometimes you got to use your hands and feet to set those boundaries, because talk don't do it. I sound like a Muslim person. I'm talking from straight common sense. This is common sense speaking here. This is common sense speaking. Fucking with me, I'm done. Let me not say. Let me not say no more. Let me not say no more. Let I not say any more. Some of these keyboard warriors are bitches in person. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And they will learn their lesson when the time comes. They will learn their lesson when the time comes. That's why I don't go to these events, because I don't want to be associated with these people, and I don't want to get in trouble. I go to the crypto events, and when motherfuckers disrespect me at the crypto events, I check them really fast. I told y'all that story really fucking fast, because I don't play that shit. You can say whatever you want online. I don't pay attention to that shit. You can say whatever you want on camera. I don't say play that shit. Say it to my face. Say it to my face, and then we're going to see how I act then, okay? We're going to see how I act then, okay? And we're going to keep that between us. I don't do shit for the internet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I come from the 80s. You know, I'm from the 80s where motherfuckers disrespect you. There's no talk. There's no talk. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, in finality, before I go on to the next piece here, in finality, put some respect on my bullshit holiday, and I'll put some respect on your bullshit holiday. And we can all live cordial, and we can fight the beast together. If you want to fight each other, I'm with that too. Fuck it. Fuck it. Because I gotta fight you because you align with the beast. You are acting in favor of the beast when you allow the beast to control you. To allow the beast to make you think it's okay to denigrate, desecrate, and disrespect somebody's holy day. Somebody told you it was okay to do that. And nobody ever taught you the lesson. I bet you won't try that shit with the Muslims. They will teach you a lesson. They will teach you a lesson. Armed aggression is powerful, and I want to see that come back. Armed aggression is powerful. I want to see it come back. Start fucking making people put respect on your name. It's that simple. It's that simple. And when you push my back to the wall, if you ever are able to do that, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you. You're going to see what a Jamaican look like. You're going to see that tether shit come the fuck out. We don't fuck around like black Americans. We do shit different in the islands. So push my back to the wall if you want. Okay? On a lighter note, let's take a look at something else. Still intellectual, keeping it intellectual today. Keeping it intellectual. So here we have IMC says this is historically illiterate and a ridiculous conspiracy theory to claim that they want you to be fighting over meaningless topics. Tumblerinas and millennial leftist academics were pushing for weird woke stuff and transgenderism years before it was in the New York Times and other mainstream newspapers, and activists pushing for it landed themselves positions on editorial boards in HR departments, Silicon Valley companies like Facebook and Twitter. The left mainstream gender ideology and critical race theory. It wasn't designed by the establishment to distract you from the economy or whatever. People still talk about the economy, but they're still upset by it. What's Dave's solution here? That every person fighting against woke indoctrination and trans women in sports simply stop what they're doing and ignore it? Because that's what seems to be the suggestion. If you want to give up and allow them to take over the establishments, they will institute laws that prohibit you from speaking out against them. And they'll claim it's hate speech as they sue you in court and throw you in jail for misgendering a 50-year-old man who takes showers with teenage girls. But okay, so let's see what Dave Smith actually says here. Let's see if we agree with Dave Smith.
There are these nexus charts where you can map out words in major publications. I'm not talking about mom and pop news outlets. I'm talking about the New York Times, the Washington Post, like the big dogs. Go track how many times the word racism was mentioned. And around 2012, it shoots up. Yep. Social justice shoots up. Transgenderism shoots up. White privilege shoots up. This was forced on the American people. Why are we having these conversations now? No, the people did not wake up one day and decide, we want to have a national conversation about chicks with dicks. That didn't happen. This wasn't an organic movement. It was all of the most powerful people decided this is what we're going to talk about. And why was that? Because it's the perfect, look, when you're failing on policy, you pivot to a culture war.
Yep.
You pit people against each other, so they're fighting each other.
Yep.
We had in this country, we had an Occupy Wall Street movement where leftists were standing outside of big banks screaming, we are the 99%. Right-wingers had a populist movement called the Tea Party, where they were outraged about the bailouts of big banks, unsustainable debt, government spending. They don't like that. That's not what the powers that be like. You're getting too close. Look, they like you fighting about issues like abortion. Now, I'm not saying abortion isn't a very important issue. It's a very important issue. But us fighting about that issue doesn't scare anyone at the Federal Reserve. It doesn't scare anyone in the CIA. They don't care if you fight about that issue. They love you fighting over transgender bathrooms.
Yep.
They have no, and you can see this every day. They're stoking this culture war because they have to distract from the fact that they completely failed on everything else.
See, he gets it. He gets it. Dave gets it. Now, you would ask yourself, why would IMC write this whole blog about this in response to him? Why would he do that? Well, the answer is quite simple. Dave Smith is talking about social engineering. And that's what IMC does. He's one of those social engineers that keeps people trapped in arguing about the bullshit. He's one of those people where Dave Smith talks about the divide and the culture war and the shit like this. Okay? Dave is talking about IMC. That's why he feels attacked. Because he's talking about him. That's how he makes his coins, off of dividing people. See? See? See him mention it, right? See, you see? You see? You see? You see this? This is what they want. This is what they want. So he feels attacked when he hears this Dave Smith. The CIA makes a call, or whatever agency, whatever, Langley agency IMC works for. Maybe, I don't know. Sure acts like it. Whatever agency he works for, guess what? They told him, nah, you got to stop this Dave Smith guy. He's talking about real shit. He's talking about money. Money. What did I say before about what did I say about holidays? What does that come back to? Money. Money. Cash rules everything around me. If you ain't talking about money, then what the fuck are you talking about? Everybody talks about ancient Egypt, but they don't talk about capitalism in ancient Egypt. Everybody talks about Rome and Greece. But do you understand the economics of these civilizations? Nobody talks money. Nobody talks economics. Why? Because it's too fucking hard and complicated. That's what the 1% did. They created this game. They created a whole new language around this game, changed the meaning of words in this game to sound like something that they're not. Right? Quantitative easing really means money printing. I don't know how quantitative easing means print more money, but it's upside down world. So they create this convoluted language to create this barrier between intellectual and intellectual. And instead of people inspiring others, and this comes back to the 5% movement. 5% movement say, 5% are going to do the righteous thing. 80% of motherfuckers is dumb, deaf, and blind. 50% going to take advantage of them. And that's that grifter class of 15% that's going to take advantage of them. Instead of saying, let's inspire people to talk about more intellectual matters, let me talk about what's going on with money. I wrote a whole book on it. The Patriot Report, Unmasking the Conspiracy and Money. If you can go to Goodreads and suggest it, say I want to read this book, go to goodreads.com. Matter of fact, let's do that right now. I need you to do this for me. Let's go to Goodreads. See it right there? I need you to go rate it too. I only got 1 rating. But I need you to go here, and I just want you to put want to read. You don't even got to buy the book. Just do me a favor and hit want to read. Okay? What am I talking about? I'm talking about money. This is the most important thing we need to talk about. And everybody talks about the culture war and the gender war, but there is no culture war. There technically is not a culture war. There's an intellectual war, and you're losing because you're stupid.
I wish all the black people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the white people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the Hispanics were as smart as Hotep Jesus. Because that guy, he really gets it. He knows how to boil it down.
With that being said, let's go ahead and go to the phone lines. I got one more thing I want to mention. Text, if you want to get on the phone lines, text Hotep in your name at 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. I just want to do a quick update from yesterday's stream, just to show you the power of the Grift Report, the power of the audience of the Grift Report, because I cannot give myself props without giving you guys props, because we are a team. We have a symbiotic relationship where we give to each other. Let's pull this up on the screen. So yesterday, we talked about the calendar debacle. Says here, the Quarterin said on Hotep Jesus that I'm more interested in making money off of a political movement than backing it. We've donated $150,000 in 8 months in business to hardcore conservative causes. Okay, and he mentions a couple here. All right. They took shots at the Quarterin after the Quarterin took shots at him. So there's a little bit of beef, just to update you. But let's go right here. Remember what we said? You can tell he was watching the stream because he said, I've seen the comments and I'm listening. Here's Miss January for our 2025 Conservative Dads, Real Women American calendar. So he grabs the joke from the show and grifts it. I'm not mad. I would fully expect you to take a fucking great joke like we had on this show and try to profit off of it. I would not blame you. I would not. So I don't go back to Seth and be like, oh, Hotep Jesus is mad. No. All I'm saying is the power of the Grift Report is real. And I want everybody to see that their work and their contribution has made it onto his timeline. Because this is exactly what we talked about, putting out a calendar of traditional women, right? So shout out to Seth, great grifter. You know what I'm saying? Might have to nominate him for a grifty. Matter of fact, he definitely should be nominated for a grifty. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, let's go to the phone lines. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. And I'll be right back after this short, brief commercial break.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand?
You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
How you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, Strong Dad on the line. What up, Strong Dad? Happy Kwanzaa.
Ooh, happy Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. You know what I'm saying? I was born on a full moon, so you know what I'm saying? I got to take a deep breath and keep my calm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because this be the time when I be sometimes a little edgy.
Yes.
Whew.
I know all about it. Continue. Go ahead.
Hey.
Take your time.
So, for context, about 88% of my setup is authentic.
Okay.
We, and I'm going to get into it later, but, my wife's family, they're from the soil. They're from Nigeria directly. So we get real stuff. When we wear it, it's real, or we shop at real merchants. We don't. The flags, though, are definitely, the flag and the tablecloth are both made in China for sure.
Can't avoid that. Can't avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, but they are Black-owned companies who source from China. So everything you saw is from either a Black-owned company or a indigenous person directly. Nothing. We don't do no fraudulent stuff as far as that's concerned.
Okay.
So I just want to make that abundantly clear, because that's meaningful to me. And you got to give money back
So
to you.
I'm looking at this video here of the Kwanzaa celebration. Were you guys selling things? Was this an event, or is this in your home? What is this?
This is so it's in our house. I can't see it because I'm actually just chilling outside of Grift right now. But so the center piece, the table you see that has the drum on it, that is my wife and I's. So we have two altars in the house. We have an ancestor altar, and we have kind of like an altar of personal power where we, use things that we wear, or we put conduits on there that are central to what we want to, bring forth in the new year. So, if you could zoom in, you'd actually see the medal I got from my last bodybuilding show on there with a few stones on it, because, that's one of the goals I'm working towards this year as well. So anyway, that's like our altar piece right there. On the right side of it is a drum, and on top of the drum is a baobab tree that me and my wife made. They're really expensive to buy, so we just made one ourselves right before our daughter was born. So it has sentimental value to us. We kind of do a ceremony with the ribbons on it and add to it each year. I won't explain that, but that's what that is. And then underneath it, Kwanzaa does have gift-giving traditions. So we do, we do a Kwanzaa-related gift on the first day. Midway through Kwanzaa, we do another Kwanzaa-related gift that we craft with until the end, and then that last present is something that we may want, and then that way we can kind of encourage our daughter to like it. On the right, on the left side, the table, that's our harvest setup where we light our candles and put our food, and where we eat with for our unity feast, and we'll eat on our last day. So that's pretty much the setup. And yeah, inside our house.
Got you. Thank you for answering that question in totality.
Absolutely. So, I mean, first of all, I'm just going to talk about. I'm gonna be positive while I have that ability.
Okay.
All right. So, I identify with my African and indigenous heritage. I have both in my family, and my wife, her family's Nigerian. So together, we have a religious tradition, which I've talked about before, which is a mixture of Odinani, Kemetism, and indigenous medicine. If you understand those things, if you've religion traveled before, or, traveled in people's ways of life, you know that these things actually work tandemly. They actually work together, and they're so similar that you can kind of use them all. So it allows for me and my wife to embrace kind of everything in totality. You know what I'm saying? And so we chose Kwanzaa because the nature of Kwanzaa allows for the intertwining of a family's religious practice and its traditions. The structure is malleable. The iconography is West African and Black American. So, my family can celebrate without reserve, and many other Black Americans and mixed families can also celebrate. And even if you're not Black, there's still aspects of it that you can use. I mean, obviously it wouldn't be Kwanzaa to you. The candles have no meaning to you, but the principles, they have a meaning. And I mean, just think about it. You have, unity, self-determination, collective work responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Now, I want you to tell me where the PSYOP is in embracing those, throughout the end of the year as you move into the new year. I can't see it. I can't see it. To me, it doesn't sound like
The PSYOP is to divide people. That's the
sounds like a
PSYOP.
defensive strategy to me.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a defensive strategy.
Let's get the people that they hate to celebrate this holiday. Because we didn't need recognition from the White House. We didn't need Bill Clinton to recognize our holiday.
Exactly.
And they said, you know, as soon as we celebrate it, that's when it's going to be become a thing of war, right? A central focus. So the Kamala Harrises and all of that stuff. And then now it becomes a central piece to the war.
Yeah, yeah. And then more families are starting to adopt it and trying to find ways to make it lively for their children so they can pass it on. And I feel like whenever they see that kind of momentum around this time, it's always an attack on something like that. And, I mean, when we're talking about psyops, I mean, the whole fucking internet is a psyop. Right. You know, y'all come on the internet every day and you share your most important data while you tweet, while you post, while you call your mom and your best friend your fucking dealer, knowing damn well you're being watched. You know what I'm saying? We separate everything from its evil except for that which we hate, inherently hate. You know what I'm saying? You separate the diamond from the African struggle. You separate the Nazi from the technology you use every day. You separate religious genocide from the God you pray to. Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa. And that's such a weird stance to take. And for me, it's like this. Just say you hate black people. Just say I don't like black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why that to me is the true psyop. Because, you know, a long time ago, I was told verbally that Karenga was only the commissioner of this thing, and that this was created by a Nigerian woman who took things from her home and made them work for African Americans, and he was just the one who was front-headed for it. But when you look it up now, all you see is him. All you see is his name stapled to the beginning of Kwanzaa everywhere. And for me, that's a psyop, because when you actually practice it, because let's be honest, even the black people who criticize it, they've never even studied it. They've never attempted to practice it. You know, that's like saying I don't like Vans. Vans are for pieces of shit. Vans are the least comfortable shoe in the world, but you've never worn a pair of Vans. You don't even know. You don't even know. So you know, as a person who celebrates it, you know, I have a business, right? We all know, like, I have a business. This is my family business. These things that we practice, they bring us together. They allow for us to make plans for the future during a time where everybody's spending all their fucking cash and becoming, you know how much money I spent this year? On Christmas, I spent $150 because my mom celebrates Kwanzaa and her husband. Not Kwanzaa, Christmas. Because they celebrate Christmas, we just got them gifts. They understand why we celebrate Kwanzaa. We spent, you know, money that actually is going to make our home better. It's going to work for our business. You know, my wife, she gives gifts that go directly to business investments. You know, she got me signs and business cards and all this shit. And I want you to tell me where the fucking psyop is in all of that. Because this is what people who practice Kwanzaa are doing. They're doing this shit right here. They're trying to make a business. They're trying to grow. They're not trying to separate themselves from white people. They're trying to bring themselves closer to each other. And that's why I say, just say you don't like black people, because when you see two people who are not like you come together, you can have three responses. You can come with them, try to join them, you can ignore them, or you can be scared of them. You can have a xenophobic fucking response. And that's what that shit is, man. You just don't like niggas. Just say that. You know what I'm saying? Just say that.
There's another piece to this called jealousy and envy.
Fact.
It comes from a place of insecurity. So you also have that as well, where the white man now feels attacked by everything online. And because he's now a victim, he lashes out at anything that doesn't celebrate him. It's very much a baby complex. It's a victim complex. Yeah.
Shout out Matt Walsh.
You know, these people are insecure and they're fearful and they're jealous and they're envious because they are not allowed to practice white identity.
And that's the craziest part. It's because you are. You know, when I was locked up, yes, I encountered a lot of white supremacists, right? But I also encountered legitimate Asaku dudes who, they're just regular old white dudes who identify with white culture, wherever they came from, some sort of identity. That, like, you can fucking celebrate that. That's why I say just say you don't like black people, because for you celebrating white identity is shitting on niggas also. That's
yes.
You know what I'm saying? It can't be devoid of that, because if it was devoid of that, we wouldn't have this issue. You know, you're not in the nigga's face whenever he's wearing his Jew beanie, his yarmulke. You don't give a damn about that. You know what I'm saying? You don't give a damn when Chinese niggas is running around in a paper dragon. You don't give a damn about that. Y'all be getting tattoos of your favorite Chinese zodiac sign. You don't give a damn about that. That shit is, come on, like we gotta grow up and just let people live. And if you're an actual Hotep, if you know Hotep and you know my aunt, and if you know my aunt, then you know that you can express and live your way and accept the ways of others without it intruding on your central core way of being. You don't have to have people fit in your box fit in their box so that your box is safe. They can do whatever the fuck they want. It's all about if they're causing you danger. It's not about if they're celebrating practice. Let's just be honest here. At the end of the year, y'all celebrate Christmas. Y'all come together with niggas y'all hate. Y'all meet people y'all don't want to see. You have all these whack-ass attitudes. There's no reason for y'all to be there except you're getting gifts. When you celebrate Kwanzaa, if people aren't there, it's because they don't want to be there. The only people that are there are the people who really want to be a part of it. And there's a big difference there, because it's all love or it's all animosity.
So JC says here, wouldn't us black people be acting the same way if we were in their shoes, though? And the fact of the matter is, they're now in our shoes. We were wearing their shoes. And did we attack Christmas? Did we attack their holidays?
No. Most black people celebrate Christmas.
We didn't do that. We didn't go online and try to denigrate white culture. We minded our business and created our own.
Exactly.
What do you mean if we were in their shoes? They are now in our shoes. They're wearing our shoes.
That's all this is. That's all. Y'all out here celebrating fake-ass Santa Claus. Y'all don't even know who this nigga really was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why does it, and for me, I try to go into, since I started celebrating Kwanzaa, I try to go into the year not shitting on Christmas, because I used to always have just a dislike for the attitudes and the way people actually are versus what they show in Christmas, right? So I started trying to be, respectful of their holiday, because I knew mine was running, and I'd be false if I celebrated mine after hating on them.
Right.
I didn't show up online the day before Christmas and be like, y'all, get ready for y'all to prostrate, beneath your phallic symbol and all this other shit. And like I reserved, I kept that to myself. I kept that to myself. You know what I'm saying? And then, you see a black person say Happy Kwanzaa, and you got all these white niggas and all these Anon accounts and all these dumbass niggas and all these coon niggas, because that's just really what it is coon shit, underneath talking about Kwanzaa ain't real. Like, nigga, you ain't real.
So the coons, what it is with them is they have no attachment to black people. So because they don't have attachment to black people, they want to destroy anything that black people might identify with.
Literally. Legitimate. That's how I feel.
They don't know no niggas. They don't hang around niggas. That's the problem.
That's how it is. Or you've had some sort of bad trauma, with niggas, and because of that trauma, now you automatically are just averse to anything you see. You know what I'm saying? You're like one of the high schoolers. Let's be honest. We know something happened. We know something happened in their past, because these niggas really, it's their comedy, but they gotta hate themselves a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a tiny little bit. But man, people should just let people do their thing. There's no reason to be upset at this unless the core aspect of you not liking it is that you're afraid that they might galvanize against you. And you touched on that. They see it as a call to arms. It's a fear response, because they feel like they have to now defend themselves. But we're not coming together to defeat your power structure. We're coming together to make our power structure so that we can all compete with you the way you compete with the Jew that you don't criticize, or that you're too afraid to criticize.
Right.
We want that kind of power.
Yeah. Facts. Hey, man, appreciate you. Let me get to the next caller, yo.
Hey, that's right, man. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Happy Kwanzaa. Strong Dad on the check-in. Hold on. We got somebody by the name of Jackson calling in. Jackson, go ahead, call in, and then we're going to go to Goldstein and hear from Goldstein. Hold on. I'm in the wrong screen. Real quick, let me just put this on your screen. Somebody asked me to cover this on the show.
Call from
Jackson.
Jackson, what's up, man?
Hey, what's happening?
What's good with him?
Hey, I just appreciate taking this moment to shout out to Hotep Nation, man. It's a holy day. It's a holy season. Let's go.
Yo, appreciate you, Jackson.
Hey, there's about 15 different things from this episode I wanted to call in and talk about, but especially religion hopping, getting in with other people, seeing how they celebrate, seeing who profits from it. That's awesome, man. Every topic has been on point and important this whole episode. And I got one word of vocabulary to the whole Hotep Nation listening. It's called Swamp Yankees.
What's that?
And I am one, and we got you. We're out here up north. We got you.
And we got you, Jackson.
Hey, man, I'd love to talk to you again. This has been a treat, and let you go and get the next person on the line.
I appreciate you, man. Hotep and Bill.
Peace.
The world needs more people like Jackson. It's just that simple. I love what he said, religion hopping, holiday hopping. Yeah. I hung out at a bar mitzvah recently. I think it's wonderful to see how people operate during their holidays and the traditions, and you can learn a lot. But you got to be respectful. If you're not respectful of people, you're just a uncivilized group of people. That's what you are. You're just uncivilized. It might be an uncivilized individual, but you're uncivilized. Let's take a look at this. We're going to get Goldstein to call in. There's Goldstein.
Call from
Murphy.
Goldstein.
What up?
What up, man?
Chilling. Happy motherfucking Coochie Shagalia.
Happy Kwanzaa, my nigga.
Happy Kwanzaa. Nah, listen. When it comes to Kwanzaa, bro, I have a very simple take on Kwanzaa.
Okay.
It's the same take I have on all holidays. I don't really give a shit what you celebrate, right? I don't care because holidays don't really mean that much to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that may just be my bitter ass talking because I spent so many of them away from people I actually give a fuck about. Maybe there's some of that. But really, I just see it in a very practical way, you know? Who cares? They're really just for one thing and one thing only. And I like the economic take you had on it. That's a good take.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always seen them as just a fucking reason for people to get together and love on each other.
Yes.
Man, so if you're gonna shit on any holiday, you're really just shitting on that at its essence.
Right.
Right. I wouldn't give a fuck if they made one up tomorrow.
Word.
If it was for that same reason, then you're shitting on that. And how the fuck can you honestly say that you're about family and wholesomeness and caring and love and shit on that? You can't.
Can't. You a demon.
Now, as it pertains to the psyop of fucking Kwanzaa, that can't be overlooked, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because what I feel is the psyop there is the fact that it lends credibility to people as black leaders that should not have that credibility.
This is true.
In the form of Moringa, or Harenga, I mean.
Or Kamala.
Or Kamala. Now, these motherfuckers are filthy. They're low-life motherfuckers. And at the end of the day, all you got to do is just look at fucking some of Harenga's recent writings about critical race theory, about motherfucking BLM, about all that shit.
What's he saying?
He's all for that shit. He's about that life.
Grifter.
He's steady pushing fucking socialism on motherfucking kids at that university that he works at. He's one of those. He's the reason why new blacks can breathe. Because motherfuckers like him come with their credentials, and in the case of Kwanzaa, one he shouldn't have. But they come with their credentials and they fill the heads up of these kids, and these motherfuckers start punching holes in their face and putting metal in it and thinking that they know something about Black history.
Right.
But they don't. So that is the psyop. To me, that's what I've always seen it as, is that, yes, you latched on to something that on its face is a very positive thing. You can't say shit about the principles of Kwanzaa because they're principles that everybody should have in their life as a human being. You can't say shit about that. But what these snake motherfuckers tend to do is they cloak themselves in very positive, uplifting shit as a Trojan horse. That way you can swallow the poison pills real easy that they have for you down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this harangue motherfucker's doing. And that's what everybody who's affiliated with that holiday on a fucking institutional level is doing. So if you're knocking the holiday, you're probably an idiot.
Right.
But the psyop of the holiday is that right there. So you got to call that out. You can't let that shit go unnoticed.
Yes.
Because then you're helping them out.
Right.
Then, like you said, you become a part of the beast.
Correct.
And then I have to wage war on you.
Yes.
So that's my whole take on Kwanzaa.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with nothing Marxist, nothing socialist, nothing communism. I'm not fucking with none of that shit unless you're talking about the nuclear family, then I believe in communism. If it's not the nuclear family, then there's no need for communism. So that's a huge, no for Marxism for me. But yeah, I'm all about the money.
Yeah, and this dude, he's just a full-blown Marxist. He's one of them motherfuckers, man. He's along the lines of a Jesse Jackson, of a motherfucking Sharpton. He's just coming at it from the fucking Pan-African angle.
The Pan-African grift.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that has to be called out. Therein lies the motherfucking psyop. Outside of that, I don't really see much else negative about anything Kwanzaa related. Just him.
Right.
And I think that personally, we should be able to divorce the principles and maybe the holiday itself from that dude. Right? We should be able to do that. But the way history writes it, like Strong Dad said himself, everything related to that fucking holiday all leads back to him. And it really shouldn't.
It really shouldn't. You're right. You're right. Well, somebody said some woman actually created it and he just got credit for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too.
Mm-hmm.
They gave one of their agents an inroads into the Black community by being some big motherfucking, I created this and I do all this yada, yada, yada shit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
But that's my take on Kwanzaa, man. I mean, shit. Like I said, if you want to celebrate this shit, get all involved, that's good. Because at the end of the day, what it's really about is you just spending time with your family, with your community, with your people, or whatever the case may be.
And economics revolves around it.
Economics revolves around it. And you shouldn't be shitting on that if you consider yourself a family first, wholesome motherfucking people. You should be celebrating that shit, especially if you constantly talking about and crying about getting your ass knocked the fuck out on a daily basis in these Twitter videos.
Yeah.
You should be happy that niggas is like, yo, let's at least take these 7 days to chill out on these motherfuckers. And then after that, it's back on and cracking.
Right. Yeah. At least, you talk about all the bad shit we do, then we do some good shit. And it's like, you want to denigrate that too. It's just like, chill the fuck out. We got a troll in the audience. And usually I don't like to pay attention to trolls unless, and this is in my book, Dominate Twitter, unless you can turn it into a teaching moment. So he says here, Africa is so civilized that they've built skyscrapers. So what you have to understand about white identitarianisms is, number one, they have no life, right? So what they do is they hang out in people's chats and then they try to tear down for attention, right? And they need that attention because they're not getting it in real life. because people who get attention in real life aren't hanging out in chats trying to troll. The second thing is the concept of skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are usually built on islands, okay? Because you have very minimal space. Some of those islands include the United Kingdom. Another island is called New York City. And the other island is called Dubai. These are all islands. Dubai happens to be a man-made island. When you live on the continent of Africa, there is so much territory and so much land that you don't need to build vertically. You can build horizontally because that's how much land exists. You'll even see the same thing in Texas where you get a lot of ranches. They build horizontally and not vertically. Vertical building is when you don't have space. Last thing I'll say is Africa is home to some of the greatest skyscrapers, aka the pyramids of Giza. So again, the oldest skyscrapers known to man, aka the pyramids of Giza, trump your modern day skyscrapers. But again, the problem with white identitarians is they have no life, they have no culture, and they have no intelligence. So they come around and say stupid shit. And you got to turn it into a learning experience for the people that don't know.
All day. And let me add something to this, because I find these types of motherfuckers pretty amusing. But I just like to send them a reminder anytime they may be listening.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you want about black folks. We come from mud huts, we're violent, we steal, we don't have jobs. Say whatever the fuck you want about black folks. One thing you cannot say about black folks is that collectively speaking, I'm not talking about individuals, so don't nobody get hurt over this. Collectively speaking, black folks have never brought the world to the brink of destruction. White folks have done it. White folks have done it twice, and you're working on a third as we speak. Biological warfare, chemical warfare, nuclear warfare, wars over fucking oil. Black folks have never done that shit, right? We have never been in a position where we could be responsible for eliminating humanity. So I don't want to hear shit else. Like, yeah, I'll take all that shit that you want to put on us. I'll take it all. We don't work. We're lazy. We mud huts. We ain't never built shit, but we ain't never damn near destroyed humanity. Not once, not twice, but 3 motherfucking times.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Appreciate you on the call in, brother.
All day, man. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. I had to end on that note. I had to end the call on that note. You gotta know when to end the call. You gotta know when to end the call. You gotta end the call on a high note. Damn. This is true. Drag Queen Story Hour didn't come from the hood.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
You ain't gonna find Drag Queen Story Hour in the hood. Motherfuckers is gonna get shot up quick and fast and in a hurry. So I'm seeing this story. Tesla robot attacks an engineer at company's Texas factory during a violent malfunction, leaving a trail of blood and forcing workers to hit the emergency shutdown button. All right, so first of all, somebody tagged me and said I had to talk about this on the show, and I don't want to talk about this on the show, mostly because this is fake fucking news, right? It was a fucking malfunction in the car facility, and it wasn't some AI, robot that no jumper, clickbait. So no, we're not covering this on the show, although we just did. AK, what's up, man?
What up, A-Shay?
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa, man. Listen, I think, I have a very nuanced take when it comes to Kwanzaa. And I think that one of the things that I've always appreciated about Hotep is that you're able to have complicated conversations because life is complicated. Very rarely is life black and white. And so, one of the things that I have personally, kind of looking into the history of Kwanzaa. Like back when I was a little boy, my dad talked about potentially celebrating it and stuff like that. And, you know, for me, I think that it's important to, one, affirm a handful of things that you said, and then two, push back and give you my perspective on a couple of things. So one, the idea that in American history or history in general, that we will hold the creator of either an event or a building or, in this case, a holiday, responsible and then tear that down because that person is not a good person is exactly what the right has been fighting against, is it not?
Correct.
Right. And so I think that standard is absurd. If you're on the right and you don't like the fact that these leftists have been wanting to tear down all these Confederate statues, rename Confederate things because it's part of history, you cannot then, on the other side of your mouth, go out and say we need to tear down Kwanzaa. I think that that is patently absurd, and it means that you are only trying to placate to your tribe, to your identity, instead of actually thinking critically about it. Now, at the same time, I think it's okay to be critical along the lines of what something represents. And so what I mean by that is that if someone wants to celebrate Kwanzaa, I agree, again, with that line of thinking, that let people celebrate what they want to celebrate, right? I think that's perfectly not even fine. I think, like you said, it's demonic to tear down someone's beliefs, right? Just for no reason. If you're tearing it down just to be rude or cruel, I think that that is a bad thing. I think in general, a lot of people have a lot of beliefs, and if you go around just shitting on people's beliefs because you disagree with it, I think that that is a bad place to be as a human, and just in society in general. You shouldn't do that. However, if you're going to have a conversation of being, critiquing something, like we can have a conversation critiquing Christianity, we can have a conversation critiquing Islam, right? You can always critique something if you're coming from a place of good faith. And my critique of Kwanzaa is that the idea behind it has a lot of Marxist ideology baked into it, because Karenga himself is a Marxist. Like he outwardly says it. I sent you a clip on X of like a panel thing that he did with Roland Martin like a year ago, and there was like 5 different panelists, and like multiple times like they bring up this Marxist ideology, talking about shared this and equity and all these different things. So that's what my beef is, right? Is that if I were looking, saying here's something that I want to celebrate, I don't like to further Marxist things, and that's a personal decision. But if someone wants to do that and they say, I'm going to separate those things, I think that's fine too. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that are Marxist or that push kind of a collectivist mindset that people want to enjoy and celebrate. And again, it's not, I personally think that it's a bad look to go and denigrate those things. But if you're going to have a critical conversation about it and you want to be able to critique it, I think that that is fair game. My problem with the right is, like you already alluded to, they're tearing it down because they view it as this is a leftist creation, and they don't realize that then they are also tearing down people that are not leftists, that do celebrate, such as Strong Dad, such as you, right? People that celebrate Kwanzaa that are clearly not leftists, but find the value of what it represents on a personal basis. Like if you're going to build up your community, and that's important, like as conservatives, that's the thing that we're supposed to care about, right? Is that people within their communities take care of their community, because you have to grow from the ground up. And I think that anyone that wants to criticize that action, they actually don't care about bettering the country that they live in or the communities that they don't live in, because like that's the last thing. If you don't live in that community, shut the fuck up, right? If people in whatever community are doing what they think is best, let them fucking have it. That's their thing. That's where they live. It's where they work. It's where they are literally living their life. And if they want to try and improve that, let those motherfuckers improve it and worry about your own shit. If you don't want to celebrate Kwanzaa, then fucking don't celebrate Kwanzaa. If you're, in your community and you want to celebrate, rock Green Grass Day, then fucking celebrate Rock Green Grass Day or whatever. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And like I said, having that nuanced conversation is important, because I have been in from a critical standpoint, from a critiquing, if someone's like, why don't you celebrate Kwanzaa? It's like, well, because I don't like the Marxist ideology behind it. But that's me. I'm not saying we should cancel Kwanzaa. That's absurd to me. You can't cancel someone's beliefs, man. It's impossible. And the right needs to learn that.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. Hotep and build.
Hotep and build. AK, I'm checking. Zanthoven, go ahead, call in. Let's talk to Zanthoven. Hotep is global. Yeah, Hotep is global, man. We're international, man. This is a worldwide movement. Not to be confused with globalism. Okay? Not to be confused with globalism. Can I talk sports?
Call from
Zanthoven.
Zanthoven, what up, bro?
What's going on, Hotep? Peace to the Hoteps. How you feeling today?
Hey, Hotep fam, Hotep. How you?
I'm good, but I'm starting to get frustrated with everything that I'm seeing, especially on Twitter and with what a lot of these talking heads, especially the conservative ones, are saying.
Mm-hmm.
And at 16, I was very, very, very militant with my pro-blackness, but I kind of let it hibernate and kind of merged with society and became a productive member of society, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like at this point, we're just getting hit from all angles, and it seems like everyone's throwing us under the bus. Black conservatives shit on everything. White conservatives shit on everything. The left shits on everything we do. It's like everyone is just pointing at the black community as the reason why everything's fucked up.
Yes. So your frustration is part of the design. It's part of the design matrix. The control design is what I like to call it. Frustration, disruption, anything that removes you from your equilibrium, a point of homeostasis, is part of the design. Is part of the control design. So what we got to do is we've got to pull back. We've got to massively pull our energy back from everything that we've previously invested in that has not given us a return. That includes all the conversations and the people involved. There is nothing to be had in the realm of politics. There's nothing to be had in the realm of online politics. There's nothing to be had in the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. The only thing that matters is what we do in the real world. The only thing that matters is the connections we create in our own family. And that's the only thing we can focus on. It's the only thing that we can lend our mind to. I wrote a blog today about how to bring your family together on menofwater.com. And that's where my mind is. We must let go and look within. You got kids?
Oh, no, sir.
You got a girlfriend?
No.
Oh, you doing good out here. How old are you?
26.
Oh, man, young boy. Young Thundercat. Focus
yeah,
on,
young.
Yeah, focus on your
I'm
money.
trying to learn all this stuff now. Now I just starting to get my CDL, get on this road trucking and just reading all these books. I take notes every time you give us a book suggestion, everything like that.
It's nothing. It's not wrong or bad to study up on your politics at a young age. You do want to understand these things. You just want to look at it as if you are a scientist and everybody is on a petri dish, and you're looking through a microscope, and you're looking down at the conservatives, you're looking down at the Democrats. This is the mindset you have to have yourself in. Not that you are in the petri dish yourself. You must zoom
And
out.
it's like no one around me gives a shit. Is what's crazy.
Correct.
And it's like you're just kind of on this isolated island.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Because you're seeing the things, you're concerned with the things, and nobody else is. They're just going on with their life as usual. Right?
Exactly. Or the only person that cares is your dad, who gets drunk and calls you every other night with his pro-black revolutionary thoughts, talking to you for 3 hours.
And there's a place for that too, right? It's a place for that too. And you got to appreciate those moments, no matter how good or bad they are. You have to appreciate them because they exist for a reason. They exist to teach you lessons about life. And you must learn how to take or how to find gold in dirt, because you must dig inside dirt to find gold. So underneath the dirt is gold too. If you're in a dirty circumstances, understand that if you hang around long enough, you can find some gold too, but you got to be looking for it.
Right.
In regard to the CDL is going to be a dying industry. However, trucking's not. As you are studying driving that truck, you must understand the business that you're in. Everything from transportation to logistics. Logistics specifically. So while you're there, understand the business that you're in. Talk to your manager, ask questions, et cetera, but understand the business, because the business will always exist. It'll be under the term of autonomous vehicles. But if you don't understand the business, you won't be able to make money in the business. So understand the business that you're in.
And I just plan on using that to fund my other, like, what I really want to do.
No, I get that. But while you're in it, right?
I get you.
Because I've been in many industries, but you always want to study them while you're there, because what's going to happen is you're going to leave that industry. You're going to move to something new because you're young. You're going to move to something new. And you're going to move to something new, and you're going to find out that something you learned in a previous industry is relevant to your current industry.
Right.
They're going to tie in some way, somehow, even if only for a single moment. Right? Like, I look at my experience in dealing with computers, and I don't build computers today, but there are many things in learning IT that help me today. Even though I'm not in the IT world, I have a huge advantage over other people. You know, so it might be something as simple as understanding how much it costs to move something from point A to point B. You're in another industry and you go, hey, yo, we getting fucked on this deal. It doesn't cost that much to move that much weight from A to Z.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why you want to pay attention to these industries. Last thing I'll say is divide your studies up based upon the 80-20 rule. Okay? 80% of what serves you, 20% of what does not serve you. Okay? So 20% of your time should be dedicated to studying the bullshit of politics, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if you want to be a politician, I would say that's 80%, right? But 80% should be about learning how to get this money and how to get marketable, relevant skills, and as many and as deeply as possible within those industries. And everything works itself out. Be consistent in your studies and adding to your skill stack. In 10 years, if you're investing your money, you should have an investing portfolio. Do you have one currently?
No, sir.
You need to start one tomorrow. You need to start one today. You need to open up an account. It's free these days. I don't know if you're going to go M1, Robinhood. Robinhood's a little bit of a joke, but TD Bank, whatever. Who's the other investing house? Ameritrade. Ameritrade. What you want to look at is broker fees. You want to find some place that's not going to charge you broker fees, right? Because some people charge you $10 a transaction. Okay, find somebody that's not going to charge you broker fees and is reliable and reputable. Check the reviews, and take half of your money and put it into diversify between stocks and crypto.
Okay.
Today.
No problem. I'll definitely look into that type of stuff.
Because
I have looked into it before.
When you turn 36, if you take half of your money and you purchase, let's say you purchased Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, or I prefer AMD, NVIDIA, you focused on, computer chips, or, you went the ETF route and focused on buying index funds. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is education you need to get. You need to start with Intelligent
I've heard
Investor.
of some of it.
Okay.
I have like a surface level understanding of it.
Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. If you can watch the videos on YouTube or get the book, boring read. Need to know it though.
Okay, understood.
You need to understand this language and take 50% of your income and create an investment portfolio. So when you turn 36, because you're 26 now, when you turn 36, if you do this monthly, dollar cost average into these stocks, dollar cost average into this crypto, in 10 years, you won't have to work a job. I'm not saying you can retire. What I'm saying is if your boss says you're fired, you're going to go, all right, I'll go take a vacation and I can take a 2-week vacation and just fucking chill out and figure out what I want to do. And then while I'm on vacation, I'm brainstorming on a business I want to start. And you have at least $100,000 in capital to do that with.
Right.
Prepare for your 30s. Don't prepare for tomorrow.
Yes, sir. And that's stuff I'm starting to get now, thankfully.
Yes.
And last thing I'll just say is that I do appreciate your channel because we all really need something to unite us, especially in the Black community. We need some group that we can align ourselves with, some cause, some flag, some banner, because soon I think all we're going to really have to rely on is each other.
Yep.
Soon we may have to really get militant out this bitch.
Yep.
Now I've been waiting for it. So
that's coming.
Someone needs like recruit whatever. Like we may really have to.
Oh, we're going to do a march. We're going to do a firearms march. We're going to march down the
Absolutely.
street, 100 plus strong with firearms in uniform. That's coming soon. Don't worry.
Absolutely, absolutely. But on that note, Hotep and Bill, and I apologize because I got nervous and lost all of my fucking intelligent points I was going to make. But Hotep and Bill, love you guys.
Hey, Hotep and Bill, love you, bro. If you're around his age group, do what I said. Thank me later. I just want to mention this. So, I don't follow sports, but I do got a brain. What's the name of the group? Denver Broncos? All right. What's their record? All right. They're at the bottom of the division. They're below 500. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They're not making the playoffs. All right. They're not making the playoffs. Right. And people are saying it's just messed up that they benched Russell Wilson. And this has nothing to do with Russell Wilson. There's a lesson to be learned here. It has nothing to do with Russell Wilson. It has everything to do with looking at the future of the football club and saying, we have a roster. We have players on this roster. And we know what Russell can do. And we might not have the team to support Russell. But we have a QB too. And we don't know what he can do. So let's throw him out there just to see what he's made of. Because we're going to lose anyway. We might as well lose and see what we're getting from our QB2. Why? And it's not even to keep him. It might just be to prove his stock and worth and say, yo, y'all see what our QB2 did? Take him in this trade. You can't trade somebody that's never been battle tested. But if he can go out there and show glimpses of greatness, he might be trade bait. This is just business. Just business. This might be trade bait. You get what I'm saying? 1DC texting me. But so, I would not take this as a diss to Russell Wilson. They're doing what's best for their football club. All right? They're looking to the future. Looking into the future. Talk about Unks Broncos. Hey, I'm just saying, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm Hotep Jesus. I want to read this last comment here from Nerd. Shout out to Nerd. One of the producers of Hotep's Been Told You. Shout out to Nerd. Where is that comment? I just want to read this really fast. So early, and I hadn't seen it until later in the conversation. No, it's above this. Boom, 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 boom. No, no. Right here. He says Trayvon Martin was when they finessed everyone into feeling they have a voice online. It's been a war ever since. Man, I tell you, when Trayvon Martin hit, we got warped into a whole new world. Okay? Got warped into a whole new world, and shit ain't been the same since. That's where Black Lives Matter really got super popular. I mean, it took off with the Mike Brown situation in Ferguson, but it really got sparked with Trayvon Martin, and that shit just changed everything. What's today? Wednesday? Today is Wednesday. It means we have chess lessons tonight at kick.com/Hotep Jesus with International Master Alejandro Moreno from Cuba. He's Cubano. And he'll tell you the what's bad about communism. Come in the chat and say, hey, Alejandro, what do you think about communism? He'll tell you about communism. Older gentleman, so he knows. And yeah, so 8 p.m. Eastern, kick.com/Hotep Jesus. We'll be back for chess lessons. If not, I'll see you for the Grift Report tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, be good, be well, stay Hotep. And Hotep and build.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand?
You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.